hair care, and which is super exciting, she's gonna, Paulina is gonna grace us with her wonderful knowledge as far as testing what color savvy minerals you may be. So we will get into it. So Paulina, I will turn the floor over to you. And can you just tell us a little bit about your background first?
Yeah, of course. I'm Paulina, for whoever is new to seeing my face. But my background is my dad is a hairdresser. He started working at Vidal Sassoon, if any of you know who Vidal Sassoon is, back in the 70s and 80s in New York. So he actually became a beauty school to teach me. So I got my license through learning with my dad and working, grew up in the salon. He converted one of our garages into a little salon that he had. Oh, it was Celise, I saw your comment and it said, you don't look good. And I'm like, oh no, what happened? I didn't read the whole thing. Yes, that was their motto. So anyhow, I learned from my dad. So he is not a perfectionist because he's the kindest person you would ever meet, but he is so good at what he does. And I learned that there is a right way and a wrong way of doing hair. There's no way I could ever be as good as my dad. And I don't enjoy cutting hair, but I enjoy coloring and I enjoy hair extensions and I love makeup and all of that kind of thing. So I could definitely tell when something is off with a haircut, and I know and I can see when someone does a haircut the right way and the wrong way. So that I can definitely help someone and say, yeah, you might need a new hairdresser. When someone takes a chunk of your hair and just starts chopping and doesn't section your hair, not a good hairdresser, guys. You need somebody else. Just saying that. But anyhow, that's a bit of my background. I don't do hair anymore, just because this is now my job, which I'm thankful for, especially right now being able to be home. But I do, yes, quarantine haircuts. I guess a lot of people are doing like the unicorn haircuts now. They like put everything forward and then chop. Scares the bejeebies out of me, but it works for some. So anyhow, that's a bit about me.
Awesome. Unfortunately, I am embarrassed to say I was definitely a product of the quarantine haircut several months ago.
You did good though. No, you did a good job.
No,
You
I
did.
just curled it.
It looked great.
Thank you. Excellent, excellent. Okay. So everybody here, a couple weeks ago, I had put out a questionnaire box, and that allowed everybody to pull in all of their questions that they might have regarding hair care and Young Living products. So I don't know, Paulina, do you have that document in front of you? To answer your questions that you guys may have had, we put it all together and Paulina did the research and is here to answer some of those questions. So let's start with some of those questions and tell us those, what did you gather from that?
Yeah. So I did the same thing on my profile. I also put like a poll or a question box to see what people's questions were. And I did get a little bit of variety. However, I found the majority to have the same questions. And for most of you, it was about hair loss. So first of all, that should make you feel a little bit better knowing that so many of you have asked the same question. It's not just you. You're not the only one losing hair. So I did want to touch on that a bit. So there's a common denominator right now for everybody, and that is stress. A couple of things, but stress is the biggest thing. And stress is a huge factor of losing your hair. It also has to do with hormones. Our hormones are being messed up and all over the place because our schedules are not the same. Our emotions are not the same. Everything is being thrown off. So that actually does affect the loss of hair. So please keep that in mind and don't beat yourself up or be so worried about losing so much hair. I've gotten a lot of people sending me pictures of how much hair they're losing. They'll show me like after the shower how much hair they're losing. So you know, it is normal to lose hair. And we actually shed, just like animals shed their fur or shed skin, we actually shed as well, especially through the winter months. And then going into the summer months as well, we'll start to lose hair. So that is normal. Don't get freaked out by losing hair when you comb it. A couple of things to look out for where you might want to look into it a bit more is if when you wake up, you see a lot of hair on your pillow at night. Um, that is not very normal. I mean, one or two hairs is fine, right? But if your pillowcase is covered with hair, there might be an underlying issue. So look out for that. If you don't see that, don't be too alarmed. Also, if you are only washing your hair like once every couple of weeks or once a week, you're going to lose more hair because you're obviously combing it out and it's been tangled. So when you're combing it out in the shower, you're going to be losing more hair because it's not falling off throughout the day like it normally would, right? If you're washing it only like I said, once a week or every few weeks or something like that. Um, Now, if you do feel like there are you have other symptoms, if you feel like your hormones are kind of all over the place, and even with your cycle, if your cycle is off, it could be that you have a hormone imbalance. Thyroid sometimes can be um, the culprit of losing hair, thyroid issues, also iron deficiency. So I always recommend, because you just never know, if you do feel like something is not right, I just always suggest please go to your um, general practitioner and get tested to make sure that your hormone levels are okay, your vitamins or everything, minerals, everything is checking out okay, and then you can kind of like process of elimination from there. Even speaking with my husband, he mentioned something that is so true, and I actually wanted to touch base on this a bit. We're not out in the sun as much, so we're not getting vitamin D, we're not getting the minerals and everything that we need from being in the outdoors, especially and even more so now that it's going to be winter months, at least here in the States. So that's also something to think of. So we might have to bump up some supplements um, to counterbalance that as well. But again, please do that along with your health practitioner to make sure that you're not overdoing, because we don't want to overdose on supplements as well. So don't be too alarmed. Everybody is going through this right now. Um, Something you can do if it is stress induced is maybe figure out ways of trying to diminish the stress, whether it's rest, whether it's just taking a little bit of time for yourself. Even if it's once a week where you just take some time and do something for yourself can help you kind of de-stress, pull out your stress away or whatever oils you need to de-stress. And honestly, that really will help just boost your how do I say it? Boost yourself, right? Not to be feel so overwhelmed. So that was one thing I really wanted to touch base on was hair loss. The other thing was some asked about frizz, dry, itchy scalp. We're going into the winter months. We have our heaters on, so things are going to be a little bit more dry. So kind of when you piece those things together, and if you notice you haven't, if it's not something that you've always dealt with, a lot of times it is seasonal, whatever you're going, whatever is going on with your hair. And the winter months, you might need a bit more moisture, whereas in the summer months, you might need more protein in your hair, especially for those who have curly hair. So check the ingredients, please, in all of your products. Check the ingredients to see if it might be one of those things. Maybe you're adding too much moisture, maybe you're adding too much protein to your hair. Sometimes it is trial and error again with figuring out which products to use. When it comes to Young Living shampoo conditioners, I don't recommend for anybody to ever use the lavender mint. Please don't use it. It's just not good, guys. It really is not. I have never heard of anyone who actually likes it and it works well for their hair. I don't know why. I don't know what's in it exactly, but if you have straight fine hair, the lavender shampoo and conditioner is great. If you have a curly texture, thicker hair, then the Copaiba vanilla is great. It's not good for everybody, and there's some strange, not strange people, but say strange cases where it might be the other way around. Maybe their hair is needing a little bit more moisture, so they need the copaiba vanilla. You need to just figure it out. But yeah, just skip over lavender mint. Pretend that doesn't exist, okay? Um, oh, Mira hair oil. Some were asking about that. I love Mira hair oil. It is fantastic. Some are asking though how to use it. How do you use? When do you use it? If you're going to be blow drying your hair, which I am a big fan of, please don't use hot tools as much as possible. Just because if you're worried about your hair, the ends splitting often, it's probably because of your hot tools. Um, so try not to use them as much as possible. If you want to use them once or twice or a month, that would be great. But to be using hot tools every day on your hair, you're going to burn your hair. If you're worried about your split ends, that is why. Um, so yeah. So if you absolutely have to put a straightener to your hair or a curling wand or whatever, use the Mira hair oil while it's still wet. And you want to put it on, so you don't want it on your scalp because your scalp will get oily, because there's a carrier oil. So that's one thing. Some were asking as well with the essential oils. Essential oils are not going to get your hair oily. So you can drop a drop of essential oil in your hair and you're fine. It's the carrier oil. So it could have grapeseed oil or jojoba oil or coconut oil. Like any of those is what's going to make your scalp a little bit more greasy. So use it on, from mid shaft down to your ends, while it's wet, and then you can it'll act like a barrier, right, to protect your hair. So if you absolutely have to use that, you can also use it at end if you have a little bit of frizziness, right, for your hair. But just a little hack I love for if you have a lot of frizz or flyaways like on the top, I absolutely love using the Mira shave oil. That stuff is awesome. Very little. You just want like a dab, but just put it a very, very tiny bit, then on the tips of your hair, and then just smooth out. And it is super, super awesome. So I love using that as well. Split ends, we talked about using hot tools that will cause split ends. There's nothing you can do to fix split ends besides cutting it. And it has to happen. Like you have to cut, even if you're like, oh, it took so long for my hair to grow. If you have split ends, it just kind of shows the health of your hair. So you need to just kind of start fresh. Chop it off a little bit, above where you see the split ends. If you want to just trim, and your hair will be so much healthier. Um, so just so you kind of know how hair works too, once the hair leaves the follicle, so like from your scalp, right, it's technically dead. um it's not living anymore. However, it's kind of like I like to compare it to a leather couch or sofa or furniture. The hide obviously is not living anymore, right? The cow's dead. It's dead. However, you do need to moisturize it or keep it hydrated, right? So that it doesn't crack. So it's kind of the same idea with your hair. You want to keep it moisturized. That way it's not cracking and the ends splitting. So for oily hair, this is actually something kind of interesting, is that a lot of times the reason why our scalps are oily is because we're over washing it. So the more you wash your hair, the more you're stripping your scalp of oils. Um, and so it starts to like over produce oil. It's like counterproductive kind of washing. You're like, well, I'm washing it so that it doesn't, it's because my hair's so greasy. It's actually just leave it alone. Leave it alone for 2 days. Try at first skipping instead of washing it every day, try every other day. And give it a little bit of time to adjust. Our hair does need time to adjust, um, from whenever you change up your routine, but allow that uh, and then see how it goes. It really is, especially okay if you have curly hair. If you can wash it once a week, that is great. And then in between, you can do what they're called co-washes. So you literally, with a little bit of conditioner, you could put a little bit of conditioner on your fingertips and massage it through your scalp, and then rinse really, really, really real at the end. Or like today, what I did is I just rinsed out my hair and it just kind of gets, whatever grease or whatever junk out, just rinsing it out with water. Um, and that'll keep it healthy and looking fresh. So you do not have to use shampoo and strip your hair all the time. Yeah, Krystal, go for it.
So I love all these tips that you're sharing. Do you have a DIY like dry shampoo? Okay, you're gonna get to it.
Oh, dry shampoo.
Oh.
Sorry, I was shaking my head when I heard DIY, but then
Oh.
dry shampoo. Yeah, yeah. I
And is that okay to use? Because
yeah,
that's the other question. Because
yeah.
I know with me, I wash my hair like once or twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's typically on like Sunday or Monday is when I wash my hair, and then
Mm-hmm.
on Wednesday
Mm-hmm.
are the days that I usually wash my hair. And again, the theory of like brushing, my mom always said, brush your hair 100 times a day to get the oils from the scalp to the ends. Is that a true thing or not? So those are my two questions.
Not exactly 100 times a day. It is good if you have straight hair. It is good um to brush out your hair. If you're going to do that, I really recommend like a boar bristle. And that'll help. However, one tip for everybody, doesn't matter what texture hair you have, make sure you always start at your ends and then work up. Um, Comb at the end and then you can work. But it is good because it helps moisturize you're taking, like you said, the oils from your scalp, and oils from your scalp is not gross, guys. Like, it's not nasty. I mean, our face has a little bit of oil. It's we need these, our sebum to work for us, right? To moisturize. So it's not gross. You guys don't feel like, oh, my hair is gross. Like, it really is not. It's, I mean, you don't want it to look all greasy. That's different, right? But we do need a little bit. So yes and no, right? To that. Dry shampoo, if you're going to use dry shampoo, um, do it at home. I don't Please don't use like the sprays. They're so first of all, they're full of junk and they're so bad for us. It's like spraying a perfume on, right? Like, except I think hair stuff is worse. Um, they just add so much to it and it dries your hair out so badly as well. So please don't use like spray dry shampoos. If you're going to do it on your own, yeah, I've heard of some. I haven't done it myself personally, but I know some have used the either baking soda or some have even used the veil, the matte veil. What is it called? Veil, right? Is that what it's called? But the matte one, and then you can add, depending on the color of your hair, you can add some cocoa powder in it, or even some of the multitasker. There's the light one if you have, lighter, blonder hair. And then you just mix that, and then just pour it, and then massage it into your scalp. You could even take like an eyebrow brush and dip that, and then just comb it through a little bit. So that's something you can do. But with DIY, a couple of people had asked about DIY like shampoos and conditioners, and clarifiers and hair masks. So I did want to touch a bit on the DIY stuff as well. Um, Besides the, if you're trying to get a more natural shampoo, it's not easy to find. Um, and there is a brand if you're looking to color your hair, or if you want, because Young Living unfortunately does not have a ton of hair products. I do love the Mira stuff, and the Copaiba vanilla is good, but it is good sometimes to switch it up because your hair, again, depending on the season, you need to switch up products. So there is another product that I really, really love, but you can only get it in salons unless you have a cosmetology license. It's called Oway, Oway. Um, for me, I found it's kind of the best you can get within the natural stuff that actually works. Because that's the other thing. You can get natural stuff, but it doesn't always work. So for hair color, if you want to color your hair, try to find a salon that has Oway. It works amazing. Like, the color is amazing. It doesn't stink. And they know where everything is sourced. So I really, yes, that's it. Oway. Um, and they have like really good gels and shampoos as well. So if you need to switch it up every once in a while, and then go back to Young Living, I would suggest that. However, if you are a DIYer and you want to do it yourself, there is a clarifying shampoo that is awesome. There's actually two that you can do. One is just baking soda and water. and then you can add your essential oils in it. So, what essential oils, I guess I could touch on that real quick too. What essential oils are good for scalp health? Lavender, obviously, is always wonderful. Cedarwood is fantastic. Rosemary is absolutely fantastic. Rosemary really helps stimulate your scalp, and it promotes hair growth as well. Um, and geranium. So one of the oils I actually always love to add into my clarifying shampoo when I do it is Joy. Joy has some fantastic oils for your hair. Um, oh, glad you liked it, Sam. Yeah, so yeah, baking soda, it's a tablespoon of baking soda to a cup of water, and you could add your essential oils in there. And then you just pour it on your hair, massage it really, really, really well. That's the number one thing. It's just like washing your hands. It's not just adding the soap real quick and then rinsing off. The scrubbing is really what takes the germs and bacteria, everything off. So it's the same with our scalp. The scalp is, I mean, it's skin, right? So the same way you want to take care of your face and your hands, you want to take care of your scalp. So make sure that you're really scrubbing, not with your nails, but just with the tips of your fingers really well, so you're not scratching your scalp as well. But you have to make sure that you rebalance out your pH, because the baking soda is going to cause an imbalance in your pH. So to rebalance it, you need apple cider vinegar, and apple cider vinegar is a great conditioner as well. So it acts both as a pH balancer plus a conditioner for your hair. So it's the same ratio, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to a cup of water. So you can do that like once a month. I like to do it. I like to do it once a month. And your hair won't smell like apple cider vinegar. Some people say it does a little bit, but then it goes away. It dissipates really quick if you can't stand the smell of apple cider vinegar. And then just comb it through just like a regular conditioner at the end. And then the other thing is using Thieves household cleaner and Thieves dish soap with water. That is actually my absolute favorite clarifier. My hair comes out so amazing every time I do it. It really is amazing. And for curly hair, it's great too. I always recommend this to those who have curly hair, but really anybody can use it. If any of you follow oh my goodness, what's her name? Uh Shelby something or other. Wild Flora or something like that from Alaska. She's the one I actually saw do it for the first time in her hair. If you guys have seen her hair, she has like the thickest, most gorgeous locks of long hair down to her knees. It's gorgeous. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this, and it really does. It's amazing. So yeah, those are the two hair clarifiers you can use. The other day I had talked about a hair mask in one of the classes, the spa class that we did. So it's really important for us to detox our scalp as well, the same way that our bodies need to detox, our skins need to detox, or our face needs to detox, also our scalp. And that could be if you live in an environment where there's a lot of pollution, it's super necessary. But sometimes it needs to happen anyhow. So bentonite clay. So the same thing you use for some call it Aztec, I think Aztec clay. Um, that with a little bit of apple cider vinegar, some essential oils, whatever ones you choose to put in it. You can Google if you want to see which ones you'd prefer as well. And then just mix it and then put it on your scalp. Try not to get it throughout your whole hair, just really on the scalp, and don't leave it for longer for 5 minutes. You don't want it to harden, because then it'll be difficult to get out. I mean, it's hard to take off your skin, right? Like your face. So imagine your scalp. So just 5 minutes or less, and then rinse it out really, really well. It's not too hard to remove it, but it's really good. And it will go through a little cycle of adjusting as well, because you're kind of stripping stuff away from it. But you will feel the difference after a couple of days with your hair health. Yeah, Krystal.
Okay, so with that last one,
Yeah.
it's a scalp treatment.
Mhm.
So how often would you do this? And you said it was bentonite clay, and what else do you add? Is it
Apple
just
cider vinegar. Yeah, apple cider vinegar, and then whatever essential oils you want to add to it. Mhm.
Okay. And how often would ones do this?
Everybody's different. If you're feeling like your hair is just not working for you, no matter what you're doing, it's either frizzy or limp or whatever, like it's going crazy on you and you can't figure out what it is. I would say it might need a detox. Strip everything, like all the products that you have built in your hair, because that's also another reason why we have issues with our hairs, because we might have too much buildup. So the clarifying shampoo will help that. But if that even doesn't help it, then doing a detox, scalp detox is great. And again, if you live somewhere where there's a lot of pollution, it might be necessary to do it a little bit more often than others. The same way you don't do a face mask every week. Like it's not good for to do that constantly. But if you do it maybe once a month or every few months, it really just depends on your scalp and how it feels. It's hard to say exactly. But yeah, that's a great question. Let me see. I feel like that kind of touched on quite a few things. Just with curly, wavy hair, if you're into the curly girl method, I don't follow it exactly because they use so many products that are just nasty and horrible. So I don't follow exactly what they do. But for me, the biggest thing, whether you have straight or curly hair, is technique, how you're taking care of your hair. So if you have curly hair, everything head upside down, everything. Wash it, head upside down. Rinse it, head upside down. Comb it, head upside down. Dry it, head upside down. Everything head upside down, and that'll help with volume and also for the curls to form, like more of a ringlet or just whatever um, pattern that your hair has of curl. It'll help it to form better. So head upside down. And even honestly for straight hair, it's good because it really helps when you're rinsing everything off. It kind of just it allows you to get into your scalp a little bit better than when you're just putting your head back. You can really dig in to your scalp. Um yeah, I think that's it. I don't know. Let me see if anyone here, I haven't seen these comments here on the side. Let me just read through this in case anyone's asking. Hmm. Lavender is the best for straight fine hair. Yes, it is. Copaiba vanilla for Abby. Yes, you because you have drier wavy hair. Um, DIY shampoo conditioner. Yeah, so that was the shampoo and conditioner. You really could use the baking soda. I was using it every day. Um, it acts as a great clarifying shampoo as well. The thieves one, I would not use that, all the time. Just maybe like once every few weeks or once a month, because you don't need something that strong for your hair. But the clarifying with the baking soda, it's gentle enough to use multiple times. Arrowroot powder, yes, Elise, thank you for that. And then cocoa. Yep. Clarifying is best. Yay! Like, glad you liked it, Sam. Yeah, and the multitasker. That's what I've heard as well. Instead of cocoa, is using the multitasker, which it works really nice. Natural hair dyes at the store. Okay, this is a hard one, just because I mean we're in pandemic, right? And not everybody's wanting to go to the salon, and I get that, but I don't know what to tell you. I say go strong and go gray. Like I don't know. I can't. I am not going to recommend to do a store bought. It's just they're not good for your hair. They're really really not. So I'm sorry. I cannot recommend one bought at the store. Proceed at your own risk is what I'll say. Hair, skin, and nail vitamins. Okay, obviously, totally skipped over this point. It's so important. Sulfurzyme, guys. If you need help to grow your hair, sulfurzyme. All day long, every day. She's drinking it right now, Krystal. And then there's the powder form and the supplement, the pills, the capsules. There we go. So there is a bit of a difference between them. One has a prebiotic in it, which is the powder form has prebiotic. So they're both great to use. that has been an absolute game changer for my hair. I don't have thick hair by any means, but I've noticed that the density of my hair has definitely gotten a bit more coarse, or thicker rather, since I started taking sulfurzyme. And I could tell, like, when I started in the beginning, like shedding hair, in the shower, I could see the difference in the thickness of the strand. Like, from my root was thicker than my end, so that meant that it was starting to grow in thicker, which I was like, whoa, okay, this is amazing. So if you are losing some hair, if you're not using sulfurzyme now, please take sulfurzyme. It is good for everybody. MSM is not something that, or sulfur rather, is not something that people are generally allergic to. They might be allergic to sulfa, so they think that they're allergic, they can't take sulfurzyme, but it's not sulfur. They're not allergic to sulfur, it's sulfa. So just make sure, if you think you might be allergic, just check with your doctor, because you probably won't be. So definitely take sulfurzyme. If you're taking it and you're like, it's not doing anything, you can up it. I think you can take like up to 6 capsules a day. So if you're only taking 2, it could just be that you need a little bit more. So try that as well. Does vinegar affect the color of your hair? I think it depends on the type of vinegar. If you're talking about apple cider vinegar, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. I haven't heard of it affecting anyone. I mean, everybody is different though. Our bodies react chemically differently to things. So, but it shouldn't. Thieves combo. Yeah, I love the Thieves combo. It's awesome. Household cleaner and dish soap. DIY detangler. Honestly, the apple cider vinegar is really good. It really does. It conditions the ends of your hair. So also, the brush that you use is super important. I really love, there's a brush, curly girls are using it, but I recommend it to everybody because it's very gentle in your hair and it really does detangle like fantastic. It's called, what's it called? I'll let you know at the end. Might be detangler, actually. I'll check it. I got it on Amazon. It's not expensive. I'll figure out the name of it. And what else for a detangler? Yeah, I really like using that. Making sure that you're leaving the conditioner on your ends for at least a minute and then comb it out. And again, start at the ends. If you're starting at the ends instead of the top, that's going to make a big difference as well in the ease of detangling. Someone else asked about hair, skin, nail vitamins, sulfurzyme again. Ningxia is also something that I have noticed has helped alongside with sulfurzyme. So we're doing the Ningxia challenge next month. You'll see the difference in your hair as well when you start taking it every day, drinking it every day. The recipe for a Thieves household cleaner, honestly, I eyeball it. Ugh. It's a little hard because the amount of hair you have is a little bit different. It could be that you only need like a half a cap of the household cleaner and a squirt of the dish soap, and some water and mix it. If you have a lot more hair, you could use a whole cap full, and maybe a tablespoon of dish soap. So it depends just how much hair you have. You won't go wrong either way. Like, it's not going to harm you by any means. Okay, let's see. Gray all the way. Yep. Bumble and Bumble. I don't recommend Bumble and Bumble. I'm sorry. I used to use, that's actually something that my dad used to have in his salon, and I love the smell of Bumble and Bumble. But just for anyone, I recommend looking at the ingredients in your shampoos and your conditioners, because you might like the way they're working for your hair, but they actually might be adversely affecting your hormones because of the ingredients in them. So my challenge for you is look at the ingredients in your products and Google them and see how they might be affecting you. Just an idea. Should we add oils to our shampoo? I use the lavender one. You definitely can. Yeah, you definitely. I mean, it's not going to do anything but good if you add more. Um, Instead of adding it to the whole bottle, though, I would actually add it like to your hand, or like make a smaller bottle, good for, like a week, and add the oils in there. Um, Instead of, because you actually will just be wasting oil if you add it to the whole bottle. It won't be enough. You couldn't add enough oil into it for it to actually be good. So uh you'd have to use like the whole bottle of oil, like 30 drops of oil, which that would be crazy. So just take a little bit and then add a few drops into that, and then you can use that. Henna for thickening hair and nourishing. Yeah, henna is one that is good. I mean, it's henna's not something for everyone. Not everybody loves henna. So if you're comfortable using henna, and of course, make sure that there's no extra junk in that as well, because some of them, they do add extra junk in it. Denman, okay, Denman brush. That is a great brush. And I do like it. However, for my hair, everybody's hair is different. Where is this brush? I have to find the name of it. I'm sorry. I just need to check on my Amazon. Of course, it's not going to come up. Tangled. I think it's called Tangle Teaser. I think that's what it is. Yes, Tangle Teaser. Woo. Let me write that down. That was gonna drive me crazy. Tangle Teaser. It's a wet detangling brush, and I actually like that for my hair a little bit more than the Denman. Sometimes I'll use both of them depending on the type of, because even if you have curly hair, the curls are not going to be even all over your hair. So they're like, this part for me is always so much more straight than the rest of my hair. So I have to sometimes alternate the brush depending on the curl pattern. So try them both and then see which one you like more. Sam. Oh, thanks, Sam. Yeah, I did a hair health course, which was kind of fun. So I have a lot of these tips, and then some interviews with, I don't know if any of you know Marissa. She's a curly girl kind of guru on Instagram. And she lives, I think it's in Scotland. And she graced my course with her amazing tips. So she's in there and have some fun interviews in there. Yeah, for sure. Try the Thieves Household. Have to wear a cap for work. My scalp is super dry. Any suggestions? Yeah, that is definitely hard. Again, I would say pay attention to how often you are washing your hair. If you're washing it a few times a week, maybe try to cut down and see if that helps. The heat, everything is just dry. So use a shampoo or conditioner that has a bit more moisture in it. That could help as well. Yeah, try the clarifying shampoo. It could be that you have a lot of buildup too, and that is causing for your scalp to dry. Yeah, hair really is trial and error, because everybody is different. Our bodies are different. The environments we live in are different. So you kind of just have to really see what will work for you. Do you do the Thieves hair clarifier instead of shampoo and conditioner that day? Oh, I'm sorry. I think I missed when. I'm not sure exactly what that was in reference to. Do Thieves hair to clarify instead of shampoo and conditioner that day? Ooh, Rebecca, if you can, I don't know what I was talking about when you asked that question, but if you can maybe just tell me in what instance you were asking. Do you use hair freshener? Oh, hey, Rebecca. Yeah, go for it.
Sorry.
Sorry.
So I'm new to all this. I've never
Yeah.
heard the hair clarifying thing. So I
Mhm.
wasn't sure if you do that instead of shampoo and conditioning.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, you had to say I wasn't reading it correctly is what it was. Yes, exactly. So that would be your shampoo and conditioner for the day. Yep. Yes, sorry, great question though. Hair freshener spray. I use mermaid spray. And I absolutely love the mermaid spray. Going back to Shelby again, I got the recipe from her and I have it on my my IG handle as well. There's a post that I did, and I love, a lot of people put just lavender, cedar wood, rosemary, which is great, but I love adding joy to it because it's so good for your hair health. And there's a little bit of controversy as to using witch hazel or not using witch hazel. If you do use witch hazel, make sure 100% it's alcohol free. If you use it with alcohol, some are like, oh my God, I have witch hazel, but there's alcohol in it. And that is going to dry your hair out like crazy. So make sure that you do not use it. It's without alcohol. So that's number one. Yeah, there are a lot of DIYs. Even Young Living has one in their blogs that they have of a DIY conditioner, which I haven't tried yet, but it seems really nice. But the mermaid spray is absolutely fantastic, and a lot of people use it at on their ends. But I feel like it's best to use if you use it on your scalp first, because if your scalp is healthy, the rest of your hair will be healthy. So I like spraying it on my scalp and then rubbing it, massaging it into the scalp. And of course, you could just mist it over your hair, right? Just to freshen it up a bit. Yes, that's it. Wildflora.wellness. Thank you. So yeah, make sure that if you're doing it on your scalp. And then if you want to just freshen up your hair, I always say just dab a little bit of water on it. It really just is like an instant kind of a refresh. Add a little bit of water, then take some of the hair oil, a little bit to your hands, and then just smoothen it through, and that'll be a great hair freshener. Tangle teaser, yes, love it, Jackie. Love Tangle teaser, it is awesome. Love Joy, what would you recommend for ethnic hair? Great question. Kind of, it's the same principles for, I mean, for sure, it's the same principles, right? If your hormones are out of whack, that's going to cause your hair to act crazy. If you're in an environment with a lot of pollution, that's going to make your hair act crazy. If you have the heater on all the time, it's going to make your hair act crazy. Something that's really good for ethnic hair, but not everybody, is coconut oil. Some people really like using coconut oil. For others, coconut oil is absolutely horrible for their hair. So really, hair is trial and error for so many things. I'm sorry. That's just kind of that's kind of how it is. Coconut oil, for a lot of people, are like, oh, my hair went crazy with coconut oil. I don't know why. Just something about coconut. Others just absorb it and absolutely love it. Let me think. What else? So you can try coconut oil. Make sure you're not overwashing your hair. Just refresh it with water. That to me is the biggest thing I could say. You really don't have to be stripping your hair of oils all the time. Just refresh it with water, massage your scalp really, really well. For ethnic hair, because the density is a little bit more coarse a lot of times, it's a little bit harder to get to your scalp and massage well. So they have these brushes. I haven't used it before, but I've been thinking about getting it as well. They're kind of round and they have like little, like, I don't know if they're rubber, kind of like harder rubber plastic teeth. There's not many of them on there. Kind of looks like a claw, and then you can massage your hair, and it's really good for massaging your scalp. But I've just read that many with ethnic hair love that comb, and that really gets all the buildup, because that's the other issue with ethnic hair. A lot of times it can just build up, and then your hair is acting crazy as well. So those are just a couple of things that I've heard from others that help. How often should hair be washed? Everybody is different. A lot of times it has to do with genes, how oily our hair is. It really is different for everybody. If you have a dry scalp, first see if you're washing it too often and then go back. Or maybe you're not washing it often enough, right? And maybe you're only washing it once every 3 weeks and you have to do it every other week, or maybe every 4 or 5 days. So just, you have to play with it. It really is you are unique. Your scalp, your hair is unique. So you have to just figure it out. Whatever you're doing, if it's not working, go the opposite ways and see which one works better for you. Sorry, that's not a great answer, but it just kind of, it is what it is with that. What can you use to moisturize gray hair without turning it yellow? Ooh, that's a good question. Um, 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 Without turning it yellow. A lot of times what causes it to turn yellow are the ingredients and products. Um, so blue tansy would be good. Yeah, you definitely could. I would be careful with it because you also don't want to turn your hair blue, but because it is quite potent of an oil. But yeah, a lot of times when you, well, for those who have white hair, a lot of times they suggest to use violet shampoos just to make it like take out the brassiness or the yellow from it. So you definitely could try to use blue tansy. I would just start maybe with one drop and then work it in. Maybe you can use some, just work it in with your conditioner on your ends. Leave it as a like kind of like a mask. You know, if you have a cap, put a cap on, let the heat work, and then rinse it out really well at the end. Um, yeah, I would suggest that. I would stay clear away from anything with violet in it because when it comes to conditioners and shampoos and all that, just because again, the ingredients. We want our hair to look good, but we want our hormones to be on on point. If your hormones are whacked out, it doesn't matter how good your hair is because you're gonna feel horrible. So there's that. But yeah, these are great. These are great questions. So to move on quickly, I don't want to take up too much time. We've already been here almost an hour. I'm sorry. But yeah, so makeup. If you are wanting Savvy Minerals makeup, which is the most fantastic makeup I've ever used. I promise I've used many types of makeup. I've used makeup that they use for in the film industry and regular MAC, and I've used, you know, all types of makeup. And this has been the best makeup I've ever used. I've also used others, Bare Minerals, and there's another company that I used years and years ago when I was starting to look at things that were more natural. And it was okay, but it was very cakey looking, very heavy. Other companies that do have more natural, they don't have a ton of junk in it, but they're very thick and very yellow. Most companies, when they do foundations or concealers, be very, very, very yellow. I don't know what they do. I guess it's because of whatever other products they can't use that are toxic. That's what it turns into, yellow skin. Horrible. So that's why I love Savvy Minerals so much. Not only is it good, good makeup, but it's good for you as well, and it helps your skin health so much. So if you're wanting to look into that, a lot of people are scared getting it because they're afraid if they order it, there's no samples. You can't order samples from Young Living. So I don't want to spend all this money and it's not going to be good. First of all, let me just put your minds at ease. You could use probably 3 to 4 different colors and it'll look good on you. Seriously, like they blend into your skin so beautifully, these colors. So I wouldn't be too afraid of it. And I believe that you have 30 days if oh there you go, 30-day return policy. Yeah, depending obviously how much you've used. If you used half the bottle and you're like, oh, I don't like it, I mean, I don't think they're gonna let you return it, or they'll make you pay for most of it, and it won't be worth it. But yeah, keep those two things in mind. So how to do it. There are pictures that we have, and you can ask whoever has invited you here for these pictures that have samples of the different colors on the forearm. That's what I actually use every time I've helped somebody. There are two of them. I wish they were more skin tones that they would show samples on, but there's cool and warm. The whitest arm you see is going to be the cool ones, and then the other one is more warm skin tones. So how to know what skin type or skin tone you have? Okay, there's a few ways. The number one thing I always ask is, what color are your veins on your wrist? What color are your wrist veins? If you need to open a light, look, there's going to be three options only, unless you're a unicorn or something. Green. Okay. So you're going to see either green or blue or both. Those are the only 3 options. If you're green, that means you have warmer skin tones. If you're blue, that means you have cooler skin tones. So green means you probably have more olive in your skin, means you probably tan a little bit easier. If you have blue veins, that means you probably have more pink in your skin. You might burn a little bit more, or it takes a lot more to, my blood is purple with glitter. Sam, what are you gonna do? And that's not Sam. That's probably Pam talking anyhow. Um, so it's gonna be more pink. You burn a little bit more in the sun. And then, if you have both, then that's awesome, because that means that you can use pretty much anything for the most part. If you have blue veins, that means that there are certain colors that you can't wear. If you have green veins, that means that there are certain colors that you can't wear. Like there's just certain tones that don't look good with your skin tone. Pay attention to what those are, and then you'll realize, oh, okay, that's what that means to have warmer or cooler skin tone. If you have both, it means you probably can wear from both sides, and look good on you. Okay, so once you figure that out, you can then take those pictures that are on the arms that you see with the different samples. If it's the lighter arm that in your cooler skin tone, you have blue veins, look at the colors on that arm. If you have both, combine both of them, and compare it to both of the tones on the arm. The best way to do it really is to just take a picture of yourself looking at, like, open up a window, facing the light, and then take a picture of your neck and jawline. That is going to be the most accurate tone, because a lot of times we have different blotches and things on our skin, and it could be patchy. So usually this area here is where the most accurate color of our skin is. Take a picture of that and then put it side by side to the picture, the forearm with all those colors. Whichever color blends in completely to the color of your neck and jawline, that's your color. And you might want to say, no, I'm lighter than that. There's no way I could use that color. Or no, I'm way darker than that. But if it's blending right into your skin tone, that's your color. It is. And it could be that 2 of them or 3 of them look good. If one has a little bit more yellow, just look at your skin. You'll see, does it have a little bit more pink, a little bit more yellow? Just look at your skin and see if you have more yellow or pink in your skin, and go with that color. If you have too much pink in your skin, maybe you want to go with the yellow to counteract the pink in your skin. Or if it's too yellow, maybe you want a little bit more rosy in the tone. Let me see. If you can't tell, there's always that trick where you like hit your wrist a bit, try to get those veins. I don't know, sometimes that helps with people if you just hit it a little bit and then hold your wrist back. That might help a little bit. If not, see if your neck shows any veins as well. You can check that if anyone's having a hard time seeing their veins. Check after, just look in the mirror, look at the veins in your neck. If that doesn't work, if for whatever reason you're like, I have no veins in my body, they don't exist, I don't know how to tell, get a scarf or a shirt, one that is green or a yellow, and then another that is like a pink color. Hold them to your skin and see which one looks better. Scarf, whatever it is, just hold it, and then whichever one looks better, it will tell you if you have cooler or warmer skin tones. Where can I find this Savvy color chart? I think they have it on the website. I'm not sure if it's always available. A lot of people, from what I've heard, have a hard time with it. They feel like it doesn't help them much. So I honestly feel like this might be the best way of telling. If you still have a hard time, go to whoever invited you here, see if they can help. Yeah, Krystal doesn't like the chart. I don't have it. Doing makeup, this is a way we always tell, is kind of looking to see if you have warmer or cooler skin tones, and that's really the best way to know. There was something else I did want to add, and it is escaping me. If you have darker skin, sometimes it can be a little hard if you have patches on your skin. Some areas that are darker than lighter, always go for the darker shade. Some people don't like hearing that. They're like, no, they want the lighter shade, but you have to go with whatever is darker. If you're light skin tone, it's the opposite. So if you have darker patches, if you're a lighter skin tone, then you do want to go with the lighter tone. Unless you have, like, if your whole forehead, for instance, is, sun damage and it's darker, but then like there's areas that are lighter, then obviously you'd want to go for the darker color just to match. But if you have, there's some people who have, just because of the color in their skin, they might have like white patches in their skin. That also you'd want to just use maybe like a concealer just to touch in that area. Another tip for color, make sure you don't go too light for your concealer. A lot of people think they have to go white or a lot lighter under their skin. And that is also opposite for light and darker skin. If you have lighter skin, you want to go darker. If you have darker skin, you want to go lighter. You don't want to go too light where you're looking ashy, right? And if you're light skin, you don't want to go too white also, where you also again look just ashy and pale. Salmon colors is what hides the dark circles under your eye. So you want it to be salmon, not cream or white. Some people are like, yeah, but that's what brightens your eye. No, it doesn't. It's going to make you look white and like mismatched. So go with a salmon color for under the eyes. Blend it out really well. If you're using your beauty blender, make sure it's damp and moist enough as you're using it. Please do not use a dry beauty blender. You're going to damage your skin if you're rubbing your skin with that. Let's see. I think that's kind of what I wanted to mention. I don't know if anybody has any last questions. How do you clean your beauty blender and how often? You can never clean it too often, right? You can not clean it enough, that's for sure. I mean, maybe not all of us are using makeup all the time, every single day, so you don't have to clean it, too much, too often. But I would say at least every couple of weeks. If you are using it every day, at least every couple of weeks. Super important to clean out your brushes. You do not want bacteria to build, and especially if you're having issue with acne and all of that, you definitely don't want it. I love the beauty cleanser, the solid beauty cleanser. I don't know what Young Living calls it, but it's a solid, yes, absolutely fantastic. Some use Thieves cleaner or Thieves dish soap, just fine. I'm a little bit more picky when it comes to bristles and brushes. You want to take care of them well, and that is formulated specifically for these brushes and the bristles, which FYI, Young Living has the best beauty brushes I've ever used, ever. Like, they're absolutely 100% phenomenal. Fantastic. Beauty blender is the best beauty blender I've ever used. Like, the quality is fantastic. Art cleaner to clean my brushes. Yeah, that's good. That's perfectly fine. I really do love the solid bar. It's so quick too. You just swirl it around and then rinse it out. Make sure you rinse out the bar as well before you tighten it up. You want to get all the gunk out of there. And last tip, if you're going to wash your brushes, if these are the bristles here, make sure that you have them standing up. So you can take a towel, roll it, and so that it's laying kind of this way, or you can stand it on the tip of the brush and then just reshape it before you put it away. Never lay it flat, because the water will go back into the what's it called? The stem, the handle, and it can rust it out, and then the bristles will loosen, and you're damaging it. So make sure you dry it standing up. Yes, beauty blender from Young Living, absolutely fantastic. 100% recommend it. Art cleanser also helps to clean the basin if you get makeup on it. Yeah, there you go. Yep. But that is it, my friends. That's all I had. Sorry, talked for a whole stinking hour here. Hopefully I didn't bore you too much.
Thank you so
No problem.
much. I think every time we do these product education classes, I think it just adds so much value to our understanding our knowledge and being able to, when we get the expertise from everybody, I think it's a huge help. So that
Yeah.
we know that we're doing the right things.
Mhm.
And it's great to ask questions too. But thank you so much, Paulina. I
Thank
appreciate
you guys.
it.
This is
Thank
so
you for
fun.
sharing.
You're
If
welcome.
anybody has questions, feel free. You can ask. I'm going to post a couple. I'm going to post those graphics, Paulina, that you mentioned
Mhm.
about um, on. I'm going to try to find those DIYs that Shelby has and
Yeah.
post it in the Oak Tribe. And
Yep.
I
And I could send them
will.
to you too.
Perfect. And those graphics as far as the skincare. So everybody
Yeah.
can save it and they have it available for them as well. So
Absolutely. And this
thank
is
you for your
recorded,
time.
so if you got here late, if you want to watch the beginning, then just let know whoever invited you. We can hand it over.
Sounds good. All right, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day.